Um, but I could see where, if you don't know the map, taking the time when you go into a town and just marking everything. Yep, and our strawberries are already not fresh, which is the reason I'm prioritizing eating them first. For hunger, strawberries are pretty terrible in this game. For thirst, they're not particularly great either. Generally speaking, the use for strawberries, their use case in the game is to use them for happiness. If you just eat strawberries that are fresh, like straight on, each one is, I believe, like 10 happiness. So again, another way you can effectively ignore the happiness mechanic. Now, normally I would not be doing stuff on a foggy day, but I'm getting a bit annoyed by just how frequent the bad weather has been this playthrough. And then that's like, I'll have, a storm will roll through 2, 3 foggy days, and then the helicopter, and then a storm will roll through, and then 2 or 3 foggy days, and then the helicopter's like, look, I just want to make any kind of progress, and I can't do that if you're just going to keep barraging me with bad weather. So it is something I'm going to deal with today. It's not normally something I do. A big part was I was also on the road on my way here when we noticed thick fog was going to be the next day, and it's like, all right, well, I don't want to commute back and forth just, like for one day. I want to make progress. Because I was actually half expecting to be done with Rosewood by now. Because, like, Rosewood is not a particularly large town so far as area. We have been killing a ridiculous number of zombies each pass. We've just not been able to, like, really wipe it out kind of thing. Now watch, I'll have said all this and they'll be like, tomorrow's weather is very thick fog. Or, that, and then, like, the warning saying, hey, we've got a, tropical storm coming in 5 days. Alright, got some zombies off the road. We aren't going to be super aggressive today. But I will go out clearing zombies. Yeah, so because of the fog, I'm going to keep it to like 10, 15 miles per hour. You can usually kind of see zombies' heads poke over the fog, but sometimes it's easy to miss. And I'd rather not ruin my vehicle any more than I already have. Because now I can send out a huge supply of spare parts. And at this point, all the cars are going to have dead batteries because we've already been through winter and all that. So getting new cars, like if I find a car and I go, that's nice, it's going to be a pain. More than likely it means I'll probably just end up towing it. What I ought to actually do, now I think about it, is I ought to dedicate some space in the trunk to having like a sports car battery, a heavy battery, and a regular car battery. Rosewood has a weak pop. They should have made it bigger in my opinion. So honestly, Rosewood's been putting up a pretty good fight. Like, we did Ekron, and Ekron's a low pop. We did Riverside, which is, not a huge population or anything. Like, in my head, I always thought it was, so far as number of zombies, it was like Ekron, Riverside, Rosewood, Martridge, Muldrow, West Point, Louisville. And then the mall would be like kind of the densest part, like, of Louisville, but just like in one little isolated spot kind of thing. Yeah. Right, okay, I can see. Yeah, that's a good distinction. Because I made the comment that it seems like there's just as many zombies in the woods around Rosewood as there are in Rosewood. So if it's 4K by default on, you said 6x pop, so insane pop? So someone have to do the math where it's divide 4K by 6 and then multiply it by 16. And that's how many zombies we will be dealing with. I'm gonna go by the math of just doubling it and then putting some chain, like, and then some. So I'm just gonna assume like 10k in the city itself for 16x pop. Gotcha. Yep, that's what I figured. Cool. But if that's not counting the woods, then who knows how many are down here. Because like I said, those woods are thick with zombies. Like, we had the, like, it was funny. I got to Rosewood, I'm like, okay, there's a decent number of zombies here, but it feels like a little bit over apocalypse mode, like maybe 4x pop. You know, we had cleared the main drag. Like, I can show you on the minimap how far we got in there. Or on the map. Like, when we were doing this, like, we got, like, down the main street to the courtroom. And then we were also, we actually got down this street. We actually pulled a generator from the houses over here. So we actually got into, like, the big areas I usually find zombies, and this is, like, this area right here is one hub that's pretty busy. And then by the school is pretty busy. But, we pushed through one of the two busiest places in Rosewood. It's like, okay, this really doesn't feel that bad. And then we had the helicopter come in, and there's, like, so many zombies showed up. Yeah, they do. Dying brainstem. And we've talked about that. Basically what ends up happening is, zombies, when they're too bunched together, will spread out naturally. Once they load in, kind of thing. They'll kind of shimmy each other away, so because they'll. So what the zombies will do is, let's pretend right here I've got a pack of like 400 zombies in here, just some ridiculous number. Those zombies will then break apart into groups of like 12 to 18, if that's what your default settings are. And so like, what'll happen though is they'll break up into those groups of 18, 12, and they'll be too close together, and they'll kind of like shove each other away, where when one steps forward, you'll see the next one step a little ways away, and kind of do that, and they'll spread out until they have enough of a gap between each other that they're not pressuring each other to move around. So when you're talking like these absurdly high populations, that little shimmying effect will end up pushing a town's population just like all the way out in the woods. That said, I found Rosewood weirdly just has a high population in the woods in general. I don't know why. Because I've had playthroughs that I'm like, oh, I'm just going to cut through these trees over here. And then just completely overwhelmed by zombies going, what is going on? Well, once you clear Rosewood, then you could easily have about 40k around and inside the prison. I don't think that'll be that bad. It's going to be a hell of a lot of zombies, but... like, I'm honestly not that worried about the prison. Because I know it's close quarters, all that kind of stuff. But if you keep making a racket, you'll pull most of the zombies off so long as you're patient enough. And with how many zombies we're killing, we're going to be consistently making a racket outside. So all the zombies who can get out will, kind of deal. Like, the place I'm actually really worried about going is the redacted in the bottom left corner of the map. And it's just entirely because I expect there to be a lot of zombies in those woods. And there's going to be no way I can drive in there. Like, I'm going to have to sit there and cut down trees and make a path. Gotcha, Xander. There's a good chance it'll probably end up happening, because I'll be clearing the prison and occasionally having to deal with the zombies as they come from the trees outside. It could even be with these helicopters, I'm getting those zombies from those woods. Because, I mean, we had hundreds of zombies show up when town seemed very clear in that main drag, and I was like, alright, I was expecting some zombies to show up, but... It was the time when we just saw how many zombies were there, and we're like, nope, this is not a fightable situation. Like, this is just too much. Wait, with the last helicopter, we got a good couple hundred kills before he eventually was like, alright, it's time to go, you know. it's dark, we're tired, we're fatigued, we're dehydrated, time to go kind of deal. With that one, you're just like, no, this is handily, like, just entirely too many zombies to do anything with. Oh yeah, absolutely. Like at first, I was like, oh, the helicopter's gonna be such a nuisance. I'm like, you know, actually, that helicopter's probably been a pretty big asset just because of drawing the zombies out of houses and all that much more effectively than driving around honking a horn will do. Oh yeah, no, I'm aware of the whole way the spawning mechanic works in the sense that until you get close enough for the zombies to be created in your world, they're just like a number in the system. Hey, Kit. I don't know. I will say that normally my procedure is I go live and then I take the time to do like announcements on Discord and Twitter and all that. And so I did kind of scuff that today where I thought I had hit the go live button. I had hit to change my scene to my starting scene, not the actual go live button. So I was just like, okay, I'm on my scene counting down that we're starting. Cool. Let me get the announcements out. And then I turned around, I was like, oh crap, I'm not actually streaming. So then I hit my go live, which restarted the timer, which I do go through the whole timer because that, well, for the me reason, it gives me time to prepare. It also gives time for people to, you know, get into the stream, settle in, do all that stuff before things kick off. For people who do want to try and catch as much of it as possible. Hey, what is clearly an entire horde migrating? Could you not? I want you all to stay in Rosewood and the surrounding area so I can kill you here and not have you showing up later where I don't expect you. But yeah, so they did sort of scuff my start, but that shouldn't have changed. Like most, I don't know how most people find their way to the stream because, like I said, the only information it gets me is did someone like click through a link to reach me? Did they come to a raid? Like I only get that kind of information. I don't get like, oh, this person saw an alert because they're a follower and they use the alert. At least I don't think I get the information. I could be wrong. So I don't really know how most people find the stream each day to know like what actually does and does not matter. Because of how many it says it clicks through links to reach me, I do assume a lot of people... Another katana? Rosewood. I don't know what your RNG is, but I am about it. I believe that's katana 25, if I'm not mistaken. I would like to switch the katana, but it's not going to happen while I've got zombies closing in on me from every side if I can... I do wonder with the comment about how many zombies are in the woods around the prison. I do wonder how many zombies are like closing in. Let me see. All right. Xander, one advice or tip for the prison? Oh, you already covered that. Xander says, the alert is nice in case you're watching something else, you get notified. Excellent. Yeah, I do figure there's a bunch that come that way. Ko said, is quite accurate. When I can eat strawberries from the bush, am gonna do it with a smile on my face. Alright. Oh yeah, no, fresh strawberries are pretty awesome. I mean, there's even some, like, berries and fruits that I'm not a huge fan of, but that's like, wait, are you talking like fresh from it? No, let's talk. It's different. Like getting in a little box from the grocery store or whatever versus like going to like a field or an orchard or whatever and grabbing it are two very different fields. Like I've been joking, I joked with my wife that's like, you know, that she doesn't understand what, you know, apple cider from the apple orchard is like compared to the stuff you get at the grocery store. The stuff at the grocery store is fine, for the record. So when I say it's crap, I mean it's like, it's still good, but when you've had unpasteurized apple cider from the orchard, oh, oh, totally different experience. You don't have to like put a fistful of cinnamon even to make it tolerable kind of thing. Like, I could drink apple cider like by the gallon if it wouldn't absolutely ruin your stomach. Alright. You know what? Oh, right. Right. So, this the katana on her back. Let's put that away. Or, machete on her back. And I'll put the katana on my back instead. Oh, this katana's actually not in as good repair as the previous ones. Like, most of the ones we've had, like, 1 tick of durability from full. That one's at, like, 75% durability. That's a little bit of a bummer, but that's fine. Alright, this is what I was hoping for, is the fog did just nope out, which is perfect. Yeah, since I have, like, 1 tick of durability left in this machete, I'm just going to keep using it. And then when it breaks up, I've already got the katana on her back, ready to snap it out the moment the machete wears. Alright, so I'm probably going to go fatigued, or exerted, sorry, not fatigued, on this group. You just want to watch for the exerted and switch your hunting knife immediately. This hunting knife, and I saw another one, I think, down here-ish somewhere. I probably already passed it. It's fine. Like, I'm not super bent on trying to get every single hunting knife. It's just to occasionally grab one to keep our supply up. More so, I want to find vitamins, because we are starting to get low on those. Let's see. Xander says, about these drops. I am on my 5th month, nearly 10k kills, and I got 8 katanas and 0 machetes. I still can't believe I haven't found a single fanny pack. So, stuff like fanny packs, they are more likely to spawn at some place in the art. So, like, if you go to the country club, you will have no shortage of fanny packs. You will have all the fanny packs you've needed in your life. Like, Country Club is fanny pack central. I do believe there are differences potentially in the loot tables depending on where you are in regards to the machetes. I don't know about katanas. Most of the katanas I seem to find on the edges of town, which tells me that maybe they appear on the outskirts of town more than anywhere else, like rural areas. But that is 100% just anecdotal, no real hard evidence, just kind of looking back and going, huh, I seem to remember this, which means it's not worthless so far as data goes, but it's not worth much. And plus the sample size is too small. And also keep in mind, I am running Lucky, which usually does help with these types of things. I have a condiment? What condiment do I have? Are pickles considered a condiment in this game? Is that what's happening? They are. One moment. Okay, sorry about that. I had like something in my eye or whatever, just like started bothering my eye real fast right there. Uh, have you tried being luckier? Have you just tried, rigging RNG in your favor? Or like praying to the RNG gods of RNGesus and Lucifer? Darkshire says, I have returned from the kitchen after hearing a few loud bangs, only to find out an old woman was beating a bag of frozen biscuits with a hammer. Okay. Okay. I mean, I guess that's one way of dealing with your biscuits. I'm not sure if this is making it better. Have you just tried getting katanas to drop more reliably for you? Like, oh. Yeah, and I am killing these groups that we see in the outskirts because the way I look at it, this group on the outskirts, the moment I clear something, is just going to close in behind us. So, let's just fight them while we have them and deal. At the rate this is going, this katana might set ourselves a new record for the least kills. Because it started at 75% durability, which is one of the lower ones we've had. I've already had like 3 durability losses. We'll see. Supposedly the lowest we've had is 88 kills on a katana. Yeah, this katana's probably like 1 tick of durability away from done. Oh no, it's got 2 or 3 ticks left. So yeah, this is probably not gonna be the worst, but definitely not a particularly great one. Alright, we're starting to get queasy from all the corpses. That's not a surprise. Let's see. Xandor says there are 2 restaurants with a few mustards at the entrance of Rosewood. If you want some condiments for your salads. Nah, like, I actually don't care. Like, honestly, with the salads, it's just... it's renewable. Like, I actually have a bunch of non-perishable stuff at the house or the place we're staying. I just don't bother using it. Like, I've had a thing of honey forever in there. That's just like, eh. If times get desperate, which I can't imagine they will at any point. But if times did get desperate, I'd be able to just go in and be like, all right, time to enjoy ourselves a nice little tub, little tube thing of honey, whatever jar. I don't like the plastic jars. I don't know what you call them. I actually don't care about the beta blockers. They're pretty irrelevant to me now. Go away, zombie. I'm trying to loot. So where I'm trying to get to is this neighborhood down here. It's just get to any one of those houses. Those zombies heard me from a long way away. Did you see that? Like, they all just immediately turned the moment that car started crawling along. Cole, I'm gonna ask that we don't bring up what's happening, like the world event kind of thing. I know there's we have a number of people here who live out that way kind of thing. So they're trying to come here to escape stuff that are beyond their control kind of thing. Like, we try and make this place a place, for people with anxiety and stress and just trying to calm down. All that, like, they come here, so I am trying to, like, keep that on the down low so far as the channel goes. I do have my opinions about it and all that, but yeah. Yeah, no, I'm basically just anytime the topic comes up, I'm putting the kibosh on it. Because that means people gotta think about it. And right now there's people who just they feel helpless with their situation. There's nothing they can do about it. Like, for people who want to read in on it, there are plenty of news sources you can keep up with, and plenty of places that have dedicated themselves to talking about it they're excellent places to do so. Right, another pack of zombies down here. Yep. We will just continue. Alright, Kolo, you sleep well. Thank you for tuning in. Yep, we're just gonna keep knocking down the zombies. Tom's probably gonna break any second now. It still has probably 2 durability ticks left in it. And even though I'm not looking at, like, staying here at the gas station, I'm making a point to very specifically clear it out each time we pass through. That way, if I ever have to stop and refuel, like, should be alright. Hunting knife, excellent. That's why I leave my inventory open. You never know when you're gonna cross a body and just be like, oh, here's things I wanted that I just didn't see. Alright, we passed 52,000 zombies killed. Right, we refueled the last time. I was like, when was the last time we refueled? It was like, oh right, we just did. Okay. I would need to go slow. There's entirely too many zombie bodies on this road. In fact, I'm going to shift back to this parking lot, probably. Alright, now we're down to our last tick of durability on the katana. Let's see. Ko says, do you think when there would be zombie outbreak, would people still play Zomboid? I mean, you probably would, but you'd also have a lot of people who probably don't want to, kind of thing. It's like with what's going on in the world, where there's still people who are playing like Plague Inc. and all that. Like, some people it's like, ah, this doesn't feel good, it's not in good taste kind of thing. And then there's those who it's like, you feel helpless to do much in like an actual disaster. Like, you know, your contributions to helping the situation are usually fairly minor, because they're not, you know, when you're talking about stuff like that, you're talking about problems at scale, societal problems. Any one individual can only contribute so much, and no matter how much they contribute, usually it doesn't feel like enough. Versus like playing a game on it where, you know, you can completely do everything yourself kind of thing. Like, in real life, your chance of being the one-person army able to take down hundreds of thousands of zombies is basically so close to zero, it's not worth mentioning. But in, you know, in a video game, that is totally within the realm of possibilities. So where, like, in real life, in a like in a zombie apocalypse, I would not be strolling around the streets, you know, fighting the horde with a machete day in, day out. You know, I would be very much trying to stay as far away from any place with zombies as possible, and just lay low, that kind of thing. In a video game, you can be like, vent your frustration. Fortunately, we're getting drowsy. And if it was like super early, I'd probably just take a bunch of vitamins and call it a day, like, keep going, but it's not. So back to the, back to the boot camp. Yeah, no, like, in real life, zombie apocalypse, I'm trying to go away as far as I can. No, you'll keep getting queasier and queasier as Andor, I'm pretty sure. I haven't, like, thoroughly tested that, but I believe I have seen this escalate while in the car. Which it makes sense, like, you're still sitting amongst a whole bunch of rotting corpses. And anyone who's been around where a skunk has sprayed and driven through in their car knows that the car's ability to actually deal with that kind of stuff is pretty negligible. Like, it doesn't do the best job of keeping the awful stench out of the car kind of thing. Because my assumption of what caused you to be nauseous is they're decaying bodies. They're probably super way past beyond disgusting. Do a barrel roll. Yeah, and I do understand people wanting to talk about world topics because it's on the top of our mind and all that, and there are certainly topics we will talk about that can be controversial or whatever. It's just very specifically that topic is one difficult for people in the stream. Like I said, the artist who makes our emotes is actually currently in Ukraine. She is well away from everything happening, but it just gives you an idea of how connected everything is. Which when I commissioned her, like the entire approach I had for the emotes was the supply had stopped? I'm sorry, I'm confused. Yeah, no, when I saw what was going on, I just checked in on her, made sure she was alright and all that, like, wished her well, wished her to be safe and all that. Yep, exactly. And then just the fact that like the approach to the channel is to be a super chill place. People come here, when they want to mellow out at the end of the day, like they've had a stressful day at work where especially stuff like thought work where you can get home at the end of the day and your brain is just mush, it's just frazzled. Or people dealing with anxiety. I've had a number of people who've reached out and said, like I use your channel to like tone down at the end of the day, that kind of thing. The Great Danish. When the boss in Elden Ring suddenly pulls out an attack you've never seen before. Yeah, I had that a few bosses. I won't say the names or anything like that, but I had a few bosses where it's like, all right, I'm starting to get the pattern down, and then the boss like waves his hand. And you're like, well, I have no idea what's about to happen. I'm just going to guess when to roll and hope it works out. Smash. All right, guessed wrong. I'm assuming by that comment you are playing the Elden Ring. Have you found that the timing for a lot of the attacks seems like almost deliberately trying to troll you? What I mean by that is, like in Dark Souls games, most of the attacks, like the person will wind up and then they'll smash, like it's a nice kind of fluid motion. But I'm finding a lot of the time they'll wind up and they'll be like, and then they'll smash. Like it's almost deliberately like they're trying to sit there and like wait that extra second just to bait out that roll and then smash you.